Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are focusing in and we are zooming in a wonderful viewer question. And much love to all of you who are really diving in deep and rising above very hurtful, destructive, or damaging relationships such as you've experienced with a narcissist or a psychopathic individual. And I have received a number of different questions that is really basically along the same lines as, is the narcissist conscious of what they're doing? Are they ever sorry for the hurts that they have done? Because I think, when people ask that question, are they sorry? Do they admit? Do they accept for the hurt that they have bestowed onto you? Are they ever sorry? Because I think, for oftentimes, if people were to hear the word sorry, that's all they would need to hear. And they would be able to forgive and let them go because they realized that maybe it wasn't done intentionally. It wasn't done on purpose. And then they wouldn't, in turn, take it so personally and be wounded so deeply, because really the deep wound is that feeling of being inner flawed or being shamed or have been, not able to meet somebody's needs or take care of them or love them or give them the affection or not receive it back in return. So it's this self-condemnation, it's this self-sabotage, it's the feeling like I, am in a grave error of misjudgment in having loved this person, or why didn't I get what I needed, and why isn't this person really furthermore with me today? I think that's a lot of the issue, and, to that question, you have to look at it on both levels. Because we do discuss here, several of the personality characteristics, personality characteristics of personality disordered individuals such as narcissistic, borderline, or psychopathic. Really, these are three separate personality types. But we're really kind of discussing here in a community with those individuals who have been hurt, wounded, and gone through a lot of the aftermath and really sort of trying to resolve and work through those issues that are presented as a result of being with these types of individuals in their life for some time and on a number of different levels. So I would like to answer that question. Now, are they ever sorry? If we look at it from a narcissistic level, oftentimes the narcissistic will only look at it from their perspective, from their point of view, from what they have experienced. Because they lack empathy, they're sorry for themselves. I'm sorry that you did not meet my needs. I'm sorry that, you disappointed me. I'm sorry that, it couldn't happen between us. I'm sorry that our relationship felt flat. Because the narcissist is really only looking at, what they lost out on, where you fell short, because really, honestly, at the bottom line, the narcissist will really evaluate and perceive others as an extension of themselves. So the more you can work for them, I mean, literally, if you look at really everybody's experience, it's a self-emptying out of yourself to meet this other individual, which is what is required. If you can dress to please them, talk to please them, live a lifestyle to please them, your life becomes built around them versus being built around your needs. It becomes this self-sacrificial, codependent sort of personality, which needs to be lived and developed in order to please them. And so, if they're ever sorry for you, oftentimes they don't feel that same sort of attachment. They're not really going to really feel sorry. If they cheated on you, it's just, they're going to have an explanation and a justification. This is just who I am. I'm sowing my wild oats, lot. They're just going to explain themselves that way. They're going to explain and justify themselves and why they've done what they've done. And they oftentimes aren't able to have closure with people for that very reason, because they're not able to say, I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that I wasn't right for you. They don't ever want to put you first. As for the relationship, me. As for the relationship, me is what you're basically going, where you probably, on the other side of the coin, you put them first so many times in opportunities. You were always, putting them first center stage because that's what they need, that's what they desire. That's why the relationship worked out for so long, because you enabled that, you allowed that, you went in with the name of love. And I always say, with all the best intentions, you entered the relationship, feeling like, I'm here to support you. That's what relationships mean to me. And it should be a two-way street. In other words, we're here to support ourselves, but it becomes out of balance basically with a narcissist. You're always about supporting them, attending to them, laughing at their jokes, eating what they want to eat, going where they want to go, listening to what they want to listen to, etc. And this even becomes in the place with kids. It's raising kids according to how they want, their religion, with their values. Oftentimes there's a lot of misrepresentation or underrepresentation of you in the relationship, and then you're willing to sacrifice and give it away until you realize that this person then cheated on you, hurt you, and then what do you have left? You feel like, I've given up my whole life for this individual, but it's really, you've sacrificed your boundaries, your standards, you've lowered, so much of yourself, you've sacrificed so much of yourself for this person that you feel this hollowed out feeling. So it's time to come back to the I am, come back to the I want, come back to the this is what I need, and my values and my talent and my gift, and to come back to that and really kind of crystallize your life moving forward. And rather than feeling so alone, realize that other people will begin to join you once you really know yourself. Once you really know and establish your own boundaries in a healthy way, so that your standards are there. Because oftentimes your standard was for me to give my all to this person, to the point where I don't have enough left. So maybe you need to reevaluate your standards and realize that you need to have someone who will give to you, who will apologize, who does have empathy, who can say, I'm sorry, and mean it, and be able to embrace and move forward. See how that works. And furthermore, with a psychopathic individual, now they don't have any sort of conscience. They do not have any sort of morality or right or wrong. I mean, they basically look at the world as their oyster, and what can I take from this? And if somebody hurts, that's just how life is. I mean, they really have a very much an insensitivity or a lack of really sort of caring at all. In fact, they tend to take quite a bit of pleasure in pulling one over on people, or even hurting, exploiting, and taking advantage. For some reason, they feel like, well, this person was so stupid that they didn't know that they were being targeted, and that's their fault. So you're going to very much not get an apology from them, because really, I would think, this empathy or this conscience, because being sorry, you have to acknowledge that you did something wrong, and own up to it. For some people, that takes a lot of bravery and courage to admit, I made a mistake. I see what I did wrong here, and I can now that I'm aware of it, I can correct my ways. That's really what personal growth is. It's being able to correct and become molded according to really what is your higher truth, your higher integrity, pulling out your communication skills, your interests, and kind of taking those and blending those all together, and becoming happier, stronger, more secure, experiencing new things in life, going new places, having different things. Now, the psychopath, because they have a lack of conscience, and because they really don't really have an attunement to that right or wrong, but they look at and perceive situations according to, what can I get out of this? How can I get what I need, whatever it is? They look at it at very much a parasitic level, a predatory level. And so really someone else's loss is their gain. I mean, they literally, they're all about the self-gain, and what they need. In relationships will take the place of just to fill the void, to fill the boredom, to present the mask of being married to somebody, to present the facade of being a good father, to present the mask of contributing to a relationship with a man. They will love out of fulfilling a superficial reaction. So rather than really loving you, they're going to be with people because they need a place to live. You know, it's very parasitic, very predatorial. You know, if they're divorced, you know, like the female psychopath with, you know, who's marrying a man, you know, or who's in love with a man with kids, she might love him because the fact that he has kids, and now her kids have someone to take care of, you know, who have someone to take care of them, and then their kids can play. So even though they might not really love this person, it's just like filling in a void, a gap. It's very much out of convenience, and it's not out of a true affection and attraction. So that's what's really scary, is these people can actually cohabitate with people who they don't love at all. I mean, who basically they're just going to take what they need out of them, and furthermore just turn around and live a double or triple life. So they don't feel that grief. They don't feel, you know, they don't feel sorry about that. They have no apologies. They're not apologetic at all. If anything, you know, it's just like that was a good time, and then they'll chuckle and move on. Like they have no attachment. So it really is one important thing. And I know that oftentimes hearing "I am sorry" would bring so much closure, because you'd have a common understanding, yet that thread is not going to be there. That feeling of "I'm sorry," you know, admits, you have to be sorry. You have to admit that you did something wrong, and you also have to see that it was hurtful, and you have to see that you can then change and move better, you know, improve for the future. And really, life is about enhancing and improving and surrounding yourself with, you know, freer energy and more beautiful energy, or more functional energy, or, you know, more that positive energy. And, you know, being able to change, you know, life is change. You know, if you look at what life is, if you look at a tree, I mean, it's getting bigger, stronger, more expansive. You know, that's really what your life is. And if you're regressing, then, you know, you're regressing. You're in the presence of some degenerative energy, which you have to stay on top of. And that will also lead to disorder and chaos. And so, you know, nobody likes chaos, being stuck. Nobody likes, you know, being tripped up. Nobody likes being blocked or inhibited or insulted or guilted. And really, a lot of those feelings are meant to just be like an emotional slap. They're meant to keep you stuck. They're meant to, you know, keep you upside down in your life, and furthermore, attending to someone else as more important than you. So I hope this video and this explanation and exploration helps. Much love to you who are really diving deep and rising above some very disturbing, hurtful relationships. And please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.